everyone, for OneWrestling.com. This is Bill Apter, and today I want to dispel a rumor. This has been going around since the early 70s, not just with the fans, but with the wrestlers. Wrestlers and fans will come over and they say, Bill Apter, George Napolitano, right? You guys are like the same guy. We've never seen the two of you together. So you know what? I finally have decided to put the rumor to rest, and I have conjured up a way here at Legends of the Ring in New Jersey to find who I believe is George Napolitano. Sir, come right in here. It is you, isn't it? Yes. George Napolitano. Yeah. Welcome to OneWrestling.com.
Thank you very much.
This is the first time we've known each other since 1970.
That's correct. 1970, over 40 years.
Yes, and actually, we have never been on camera together. Neither of us have interviewed each other, and we both have similar stories, similar likes and dislikes, although we do have two different wives, correct?
I think so.
Yes, I hope so. Where was she last night?
Somewhere in New Jersey.
So was mine. Anyway, what I wanted to talk to you about through the years, and by the way, the first time, I will never forget the first time I met you, and I always love to tell this story. I had just started with Stanley Weston, the Wrestler magazine, and he'd got me a press pass to shoot on the ring at Sunnyside Garden in Queens. And like any professional, after the third roll of film, I ran out of film. And I turned around, and there was this guy and his beautiful girlfriend sitting right behind me taking pictures in the front row, and I said, do you by any chance have any film I could buy? And he says, here, you can have the film. How do you get started in this? And we got to talking. Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember most of it.
Yeah.
But the film part, no, I don't remember.
Yeah,
but
I turned around to ask you for film, and then he said, how can I get a job working for who you work for? And I had just started, so job protection. I said, well, I buy Ring Wrestling magazine, and I think it was right after that you called Nat Lubay.
No, well, actually, there was a fellow in there named Sanchez Acosta.
Right.
Who was sitting ringside.
I remember now.
And he's the one who says, you must take good pictures, you have a good camera.
Yeah.
And he says, well, let me see what you take. And I went and saw him, and he says, would you like to work for me at Ring Wrestling?
That was it. That was it. And that put the key in the ignition. Now, through the years, you and I have done a million trips together. We went to Toronto and Buffalo together for the very first time.
We met your first wife in Utica.
Yes, in Utica, New York. That's another story, not for here. But what I wanted to talk to you about is all the pictures that I shot, and I'd say most of them are owned by the PWI company. I was very grateful to work for them for over 30 years. The pictures you shot, you retained, and you've put out some of the great books in wrestling of all time, along with the late Bert Sugar.
Well, that was in the first couple. The first two books were with Bert Sugar.
Yeah.
And this is my 13th book. I just did my 13th book.
So that's what I saw the book, and you have it here.
Yes, I do.
And it's high spots and hot shots and I can't read anymore.
Hot shots and high spots.
And tell us how the idea for this book came about. These are all your photos.
Yeah, of course. Over several 100,000 photos. Yes.
700 million photos. I've seen your collection.
Yeah. How it came about was somebody contacted me. The last book I did was maybe 12 years ago. So somebody contacted me and said, we want to put out a book. And I said, what kind of book? And they tried to explain to me what it was. And he said, send us about 100 pictures. And I sent them 100 pictures. And then they said, you got more, and you got more, you got more. So the first 100 or so were ones that I picked out were like ones I really liked.
Right.
The others were just pictures,
pictures
after pictures, but no really rhyme or reason.
Right.
Not to say that they're not good, or I'm not saying that they're my best.
There's a story behind every one of your photos.
Yeah, I'm not saying that they're my best, but they're pictures that are representative of a different era. And along with the photos, I write something like how I met that particular person or how I interacted with them.
That's great. Now, where can people find the book?
On Amazon.com is probably the easiest way. It's in several Barnes & Nobles, but trying to find a bookstore is next to impossible.
All right.
And BarnesandNobles.com also.
So get the book. It's fantastic. And now you all know that George and I are not the same guy, except for one guy. Stan Hansen could never tell us about... Bobby, yeah, and Stan Hansen. So one time I actually gave Stan Hansen a picture of Stan, me, and George, and marked off who was who. So hold the book up, show it to our audience here, and don't forget George Napolitano. Finally here on OneWrestling.com.
If I may interrupt, as you look through here, you're going to see a lot of pictures that you're going to remember.
Oh, show that, turn it around.
George Steele.
Cameraman, would you mind coming in? By the way, the Blackjack Brown behind the camera. Thank you for, but great stuff, great stuff. George the Animal Steele actually tried to eat a copy of this book. Is that correct?
I'm sure he did. I wasn't there, but I heard he did.
And I heard he endorsed it by saying, "Nice." For OneWrestling.com, Bill Apter, George Napolitano.
That's.
Oh, show that picture to the camera. Now wait a minute. I got one on you. Hold on a minute. I'm going to duck down. Stay right here. Hang on to the mic.
Okay.
Talk to the people for a minute.
What are you going to be doing, Bill? Mill.
Well, let me see the picture. I want to see in the picture again.
You look the same.
Well, you know, I'm very happy to be with you, Georgie, and for Bill Apter and Mil Máscaras, George Napolitano, we see you at the Lucha Libre.
All right, thank you.